Okay, so we're recording. Okay, so I'm super excited tonight to introduce Robyn, and I'm guessing that most people on the call or that are listening to the recording have seen or heard from Robyn, because I think the number one thing that I think of when I think of her is she's so positive and uplifting and is always out there just spreading love in the world. And that's in our team group, that's on her page, that's in our challenge groups, everything. And so it's so awesome. I'm super excited to have her host this call and talk about something that I think she just has a great perspective on, which is getting consistent with Success Club and some tips for making that happen. So a little bit about Robyn, just so that you guys know who she is, and might as well give some stats. So Robyn joined my team, Team Lifetime Whip, in November of 2014, so almost a year and a half ago. But that was definitely not the start of her journey. Robyn actually started because she heard and saw an infomercial for Turbo Fire, and it connected to her, and she just went for it. And so by the time she came to my challenge groups and joined our team, she was already well into her physical and mental and emotional transformation. And I was so excited and so lucky that she decided to join our team because I think she has a huge message to share just about self-love and really, building inside and out. Last I heard, she was down, I think, 140, maybe more, she can correct me if that's wrong, pounds since the beginning of her journey, which is just freaking ridiculous. And she's a mom of two. Her son is diabetic, so not only is she mom, nurse, I mean, she is just a superhero, and to me. And she has been doing this coaching thing for a while, is working on building a team. Her team is Team Light Your Fire. And what I love is that lately she is just taking a chance on so many things that I know are going to help her build and grow. Robyn's going to be at Summit this year, which is huge. I know this has been a goal on the list since she discovered Beachbody, and I'm super excited to finally meet her in person because we've known each other online forever. And then hosting this call, this, for anyone, this is outside of your comfort zone, even if it's, a group of women who we all know and work with daily and, talk to online, it's still tough. It's still putting yourself out there. So I just wanted to say congrats to Robyn for even saying yes to this crazy idea of ours. And I'm super excited to listen in because the reason she's talking about this topic is because she has gotten consistent with Success Club recently. And so I'm excited to hear what her tips and some of the ideas as to how that's happening. So I'm going to hand it over to you, Robyn, and I'm excited to hear.
Right. Thank you. What a great introduction. I'm kind of blown away. Thank you so much. Thanks you guys for all being here. And I sound kind of cheesy the way I'm starting this, so let me just relax a little. I don't know. I just believe in this so much, as you guys probably know that have followed me at all or have been on the team with me, and just, I don't know. I'm very nervous about this for some reason, even though I know you guys are all part of my team. It's because this means so much to me, and your time is valuable. So I want to have this be of value too. The things that I always try to focus on, which is the things that have been kind of not drilled into us, but they always say to us, is always practice the vital behaviors daily. Invite, and not just the blatant invite, obviously, but just the inviting with your posts, just inviting people to be healthy, to be positive, to just stuff like that. Obviously be proof of the product. Just all the stuff they always tell us, personal development daily, that has been huge for me. Because I always be like, oh yeah, I'll do that. I'll get to that. I have a book, and I'd read here and there. But basically since January, every single day, I make at least 10 minutes, but usually at least a half hour that I do personal development. And it's helped me a lot. It's made me face different things that are hard, but it helps you grow. And that has been really huge, I think, for me. The big thing for me that has helped is not to think of it as Success Club points, but more of basically the core of it all is just helping people get results, whether they're buying from you or not. And that has been really, I think, big for me, is like building these relationships with people, whether they buy from me or not giving up from. I've had people that I work with them for a year before they finally commit and decide. Or I've had people that are with me for a little bit and leave and even go to a different coach, but I still send them positive vibes. I'm still here. They see me being consistent and they've come back. And one of them is a coach with me now. So don't ever give up on anybody. Just, that's a huge thing for me. Challenge groups have been big. If you don't have your own yet, try to do one. It was really hard for me to leave Kim's group because I love being part of the team, but I had to stop thinking of more of it as what I wanted, but what I wanted to do, what my purpose was more of, not just for me, but to help more people. And as soon as I left and started my own group, so many more people were willing to come to my groups. I have 40 people in my group right now. And I had like 15 people or so that would be with me with Kim's, but it was so different. As soon as I went off on my own, it was like I was looked at different, or more people were able to, I don't know, get vulnerable and give a chance with it. I also think be adaptable with your challenge groups. When I started, I still make people do before pictures because I think that's vital. But I started noticing teachers or different people that were in certain professions weren't doing my groups because they didn't want their photo there because, yeah, they trust me and they're willing to put their photo, see themselves, but they can't trust, and they're told at school they're not supposed to put those things out there even if it's private. So I let people privately message me their befores if they're not comfortable doing that. And that, I think, has helped my groups grow too, because it's allowed different people that might be a little bit scared. And then I have people that, so that they might quietly do that with me for 4 groups. And then all of a sudden they're feeling that self-love. Because as Kim said, that's a huge, huge thing. I push a lot, not push a lot, but I really want, has been huge for me. So I feel that that's huge for my challengers, is to get them to love themselves more. And the more they do that, the more they open up, the more dynamic your groups get, the more willing, I haven't had a lot that necessarily have wanted to take that risk to be the real coaches yet with me, but I have a lot that have taken on that dynamic role in the group of cheering others on. Another thing with challenge groups is I think you need to change up your own programs. I got stuck in a long time of Turbo Fire. I love Turbo Fire. It's my soulmate workout, and I was never going to leave it. But as a coach, I can't help as many people if I'm just going to be stuck on one program. And it's every time I've switched to a new program and I've shown my results, whether they're minimal or a lot or whatever, just showing myself doing them, I've had more people that will buy the challenge packs or even buy the programs. It's another thing. I don't worry if I try to get them to do the challenge pack. That's my first suggestion. But I don't give up if they don't want to do that. I still will try to get them to get programs. And that's how I get my volume up a little bit too, even if I don't have a month that maybe I'm not quite there with successful points. I try to keep my volume up with trying to get the little sales here and there that aren't as much volume, but they do add up. And then they also are, I don't know, it just adds. I also took a risk and decided to do, my main challenge groups are always usually free challenge groups. So that way I can have as many people in there, I can help as many people as I can. But I've also started to branch off, and I'm doing a 22-minute hardcore group of just that. And I said I wanted to just do 5 people the most, keep it minimal. And within like 3 days, I got 3 people getting the program. And they all were ones that had previously, well, actually one I got challenge points with, other ones, they were just volume. But to me, I don't look at it like that. I look at it as how can I help them? And just seeing their success to me is really, where I get my motivation. And then it just turns around into successful points. Also, I wanted to mention, sometimes you need to go above and beyond. You have to gauge when to do this. You know when the best time is, but there's so many people out in the health and fitness field that are trying to help people, and people want convenience. So they're so apt to take the easy way out. So there's been situations where I could have had people leave Beachbody because of something's happening. For example, I had a girl that had so many weeks till vacation. She wanted to get 21-day fix. Something got messed up. They sent it to the wrong place. It got sent back. She's about ready to give up because she wasn't going to have that time. I sent my program the next day to school with my daughter and a week's worth of Shakeology so she could get that program going. And she reimbursed me the shakes later. And, but I wouldn't even care if she didn't do that. I wanted to get her going. And then she turned into a monthly Shakeology person, and if I didn't do that, she might have been apt to go to the 5,000 It Works people that are like, here, try this, and not to put that down or whatever. But so sometimes go above and beyond a little bit like that. Or like just going back to relationships. I'm sorry, I'm like going all over the place. This is kind of how I am, an abstract, random kind of person. But the huge part of it all is the relationships, building those relationships, not giving up, knowing where to put more of your time, to gauge the time, who to give it to, but don't give up on people. And they'll come back to you, and I don't know, be authentic, be yourself, keep sharing your story, keep posting, inviting, all those good things. I don't know. I'll end with what Shanti said. I thought were really great 4 points. Always be 100% authentic, share your story, be vulnerable, and do it for the right reasons. And it will get there. Just keep going. It took me so long before I got Success Club. So long. I helped so many people before then. And I remember feeling like, oh, why is there so much put on the Success Club point? But it really is for the long-term benefit and the value and for everything. That is where we want them to get into drinking the shakes. And that is where the most value is. But I remember feeling that frustration. So just work through that. Know that there are going to be ups and downs, but right now, tell yourself you're going to be here next year, no matter what. Work through those ups and downs. Just say you're going to be here. And no matter what, it keeps going. It gets, you get more people involved. It compounds and you get the volume. Granted, mine is going slower than some people's, but it's going, and just keep believing in yourself. And if you know that this is what you want and you want to help the most people, just keep doing it. And I'm going to stop now because I'll just keep babbling. So Kim?
I'm totally muted. Julie's up. I'll let her go.
I have a question, Robyn.
Yes.
So you hit Success Clubs every month, and sometimes it's like just like hanging in the balance, and you seriously will message me at like midnight and you're like, I got it, I did it, whatever. So how do you push without sounding pushy? Like, how are you able to do that so often where you're like just so close? And I'm curious to know like what your conversation sounds like, I guess. And you feel free to like post a sample conversation if that's easier for you, but I would just love to hear like how you are like handling your conversations.
Yeah, definitely. I can do that. I can do that later to write one out for you guys. That would be, a couple of different examples. It's different based on different people. You really have to feel like everybody's at different spots with their journeys. So you kind of have to feel it out because you don't want to turn them off. You want to be there for them. You want to push the ones that need a little bit of a push. But I just try to keep as many conversations going as I can all the time, not just be like, oh my gosh, it's the 20th of the month. The first of the month I'm starting and I try to hit it by the 15th. Right now I'm just at 1. So, this month I'm like, but January I got to 10. Last month I was to 6. So, just keep pushing. And if it's not this month, it might be next month. And the way to not make it feel as pushy, I think, is to try to have as many of those conversations going so you don't have to be feeling so not desperate, but you know what I mean? Just kind of try to keep it more natural. I have some, what has been also huge is I reach out once a week to my challengers. I might not get to them all one day. I put most of my time in and I'll go through every person. I don't put a certain amount of time on it. I need to get to all those people. And if I run out of time today, I'll do it tomorrow. And that has been huge for me too, just that little bit. And like some of them, I might not even talk about fitness. I might be like, how's it going? I saw you did this. They don't want, they want a coach, but they want a friend, and they don't want to really feel like, I don't know, to me, that part has been huge, I think. So it doesn't feel like that I'm that salesy part of it. I don't know if I answered your question, but I could try to, I'll write out a sample conversation.
That's awesome, Robyn. I think that's really helpful.
Totally. Sorry, I'm probably delayed, but I was just curious, like, how do you like somehow navigate the conversation to like throw in Shakeology, or like does it just come up for you in the conversation?
Oh, that's good. I'm sorry, this somehow didn't get on my list for my rewrite. Shakeology is huge. Like, huge part lately is get as much Shakeology out there as you can. Don't be afraid to like write it off later. Like for the longest time, I would have my samples here and there. I might give it out, but lately I am more of like, I've been sending out a free sample here and there, and then that gets the conversation going a little bit more. I try to do that with little things on my page, so there might be people not even in my challenge group, because I've got like 3 or 4 conversations going right now of people not in my challenge group that are ones through conversations on my page, just posting up a picture, guess what shake I'm drinking, I'll give a random gift out to somebody maybe, but I don't, like sometimes I don't, but I try to get the shakes out there as much as I can, and just it depends on the person how it goes in the conversation. It really does, because some people I know, if I've had a few lately that are just really anti-working out, so I've been pushing more of the shakes hardcore, because that's the only place they want to go for is the nutrition. But since I've gotten those samples out there more and given them, I've written out personal recipes and different things like that. That's been more of a turnaround with the shake for me too, getting more Shakeology orders.
That's awesome. I think that like it's totally just meeting people where they are, Robyn. Like, like that. If you've got people that don't want to work out, like getting them connected up with Shakeology or with the strong meal plan or something like that. Like I think that's a really good one, and something I definitely just wrote down, because I don't know, I think we get so focused on like in the challenge groups, like the physical activity and stuff. And, some people just aren't ready, and maybe they start with the Shakeology, or they start with, just healthy eating, and they come into our groups and at least are just around it, and they kind of go, okay, well, maybe I could, drop and do a squat. Like, let me try one squat and see where it goes. Like, and so kind of that.
Yeah, and that is my goal, is to get them there. I don't want anybody not doing any physical, but there's been some, and you've got to really listen. Because as much as you want to have them purchase different things because that's going to be the best for them, you really have to listen where they are. Because some people, to me, I think that's helped a lot, is trying to gauge where they are. So then I know when to back up a little bit, or, so they don't get frightened. Because for some reason, people will spend money on so much crap out there, but to invest in themselves, it's so hard to get them to do it sometimes. So you just really need to be careful with how you gauge that a little bit. Because I was, a cousin of my husband's, I finally got her to get going on the shakes, and I was trying to push that fitness, and I almost like pushed it a touch too much. And then I just said to myself, just stop, because I was, I could have turned her off. And then she turned around and spent $180 on Shakeology. So I was like, all right, we'll get her on the shakes. That's good. And, then I'll work on that baby steps. But
yeah, that's awesome. I love that you touched on, because I know you and I have talked a ton about like when you transition to doing your own groups and stuff. And, I knew that the numbers had bumped up and everything when that happened, but I think it's really cool to get that perspective of like, that it made people more comfortable, and, allowed them to be able to kind of open up and maybe see you with a little bit more authority, or, come to you rather than coming to, myself or to another coach, and stuff. So I think that's really awesome. That was helpful for me to hear, and I hope that other people do too.
Well, I think with the groups and with my programs, it was when I finally said, okay, I got to stop thinking about what I want and what's going to be best for, what I want really is what my mission is, my why is to help the most people. And to do that, I have to diversify a bit, or I have to put myself out there. And yeah, it was uncomfortable different times. Yeah, I missed you guys like hell. And that was, uncomfortable for me, but that's when you grow. And you guys are still all there. It's just, it's just different. And but to do what I want, that you have to do that. You have to put yourself out there. And it's so worth it. So worth it.
That's awesome. Okay, so I have a question, and it's actually coming from Julie because she's delayed, so she texted me. But she wanted to know, do you ever get frustrated and want to quit, and what keeps you around if so? And the idea is that some people want this to happen right now. And did it happen right now for you? And if not, how do you push through that? So that all kind of goes together, and I know a good amount about
awesome question. Yeah, so it was November 2014 I started, which, as Kim said, it was really hard for me to commit to that because I had in my head I have to be at my goal before I can be a coach, and that's just bull crap, because really people want to see your journey. They really, so that it, but probably about a year ago was the last time I felt that, because about a year, I had some returns, I had some different things, so it was like it was a little bumpy patch. But what got me through that was listening to a call with Stephanie, and she said, promise yourself, just give yourself a year from this day, no matter what, no matter if you have a rough day, give yourself that year. You owe yourself that, and you'll be amazed where you are in a year. And everybody's path is going to go at a different rate, but if you believe in it and you believe in your why and keep going back to that why. And to me, I know no matter what, I'm Beachbody. For me, I'm going to be drinking my shakes forever. I'm going to be working out till I'm freaking 85 or whatever. And somebody's pushing me in a wheelchair and I'm still doing size with my arms. I'm going to be doing it. So I'm going to be, that's when I told myself, when I made that decision, it was the same thing with the fitness. When I said, there's no ifs, ands, or fucking buts about it, I'm staying here. And that helps me get through the days where you give your fucking all and you're wondering, is anybody out there? Crickets, crickets, crickets. But they are. There's so many people that don't say anything that are watching you. And another thing I forgot to mention, for some reason, I didn't start adding people to my personal page till a month of freaking go. Why? I don't know why. I was like, I've got all these people. Do it. Just add people. I was so afraid, they're going to think I'm like this other salesy person. So what? Muove on to the next person. You want to help people. Get out of your own fucking way and do it. Sorry. But I got in my way so much. And that's, just believe in yourself. You guys are all amazing. And you all have your own personal story and people want to hear it. Everybody wants to hear it. They need you. There's so many people out there that need us. They just don't know it yet, but we're going to help them.
That's awesome. There's the Robyn that we know. Okay, so adding people, how do you're talking about how you just like a month ago started adding people to your network, to your circle, to your personal page. Like, are these people that were, people who liked your fitness page, or people that you're connecting to elsewise, or what? I'm going to adapt how I'm doing it. This first month that I've been doing it, I've been, and I've been asking more than the 3 a day because I want to get at least 3 more a day. And I've been just going with people that I have mutual friends with, or people that I know of in my community. I'm in a kind of a small town. I grew up here. I was a teacher here. I was thinking today that it's like, my whole life I've been building up to be Beachbody coach because I've been networking in a way with all these different ways with, I made headbands at different times. So I have people through that. So for now, I've just been doing that. But yesterday, I had a couple, they're almost kind of uncomfortable. Like one was like, well, how do I know you? Kind of gruff responses back. But, I was just like, hey, I know you because of this or whatever. And, and there were a couple people that maybe I don't necessarily want to be in my circle. So I was like, okay, maybe I need to look at that a little bit closer than the mutual friends. Because one was like, she's so nice and sweet and all this. And then she sent one back that night, was like, I
I have no money. I need money for my baby and all this stuff. I'm like, what is this like this weird scam, you know? So like, be careful about that too. You know, that was a little lesson. I was like, don't just like, oh yeah, we're mutual friends, you know, kind of look over their page and be like, is this someone that, you know, you really will feel comfortable helping too? So that's a little tip on that too. But I'm going to go more with the searches of searching a common interest. And I've finally gotten more comfortable on my main Instagram page and just decided I'm just going to have one page, but to combine it more with me and my fitness on there too. And I think that's going to generate some more, because I have like 1,000 people on there too that follow me from my photos. So, you know, I have people there that I'm going to reach out more to also.
Awesome. That's great. Anyone else have any questions? I know we've still got a good amount of people on. So, Patty, are you wanting to ask a question?
Yeah. By the way, thank you. This has been very helpful. I've been taking notes and I missed part of that Sean T quote. Could you repeat it?
Sure. He said, be 100% authentic, share your story, be vulnerable, do it for the right reasons. And that was on the call this Monday. Oh, that's another thing I didn't mention. In your personal development, do the call every week. Every week. I know we can't catch it live. That has been huge for me. That gets me motivated. That gets you, I don't know, it just pumps me up. And take notes when you do it. And I don't know, do that call. If you don't do other personal development, make sure you do that.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy that you've got top coaches, you know, people that are just killing this business that will talk on that call every single week. You know, I mean, what business, what career would you have like the top dogs just giving you their tips, like open, you know, and then like the celebrity trainers and the CEO and like all that. I mean, it's awesome. So
you know, I always think of success leaves clues. So if you want to be successful, follow those people that you see are being successful, but also that speak to you. So a lot of the speakers on Monday, I'll follow them. Not all of them might be like my type of coaching, but then there's some that are like, you know, Amy Silverman, that are like, yes, you know, that you get so inspired by. And that on those days where you're like, why am I coaching? Which they kind of don't feel those days. But if you have those, you know, everybody has hard days. You have hard days and you see one of those coaches, just like they'll say just the right thing. And they'll just, for me, that is huge too. Following those top coaches that really, they can be so motivating.
That's awesome. Okay, anyone else have any questions? Everyone's muted, so if you do, just like wave. Oh, Colby's in the background saying, I want a question. No.
Robyn, I just want to say my favorite part is the keep as many conversations going as possible. Because I just listened to a training that said if you feel like you're selling, then you're selling. And I feel like that goes hand in hand with that. Because if you feel like you're actually having a conversation and listening to somebody, then it's going to come naturally. If it's the right thing for them, then that's what's going to happen. Mm-hmm. So I really appreciate that. That was awesome.
Thank you. I'm glad. I hope people got stuff from it. I know I tried to write notes down, but I'm kind of a really abstract, random kind of type of thinker. And so please feel free to like email me, send me any questions if you have any. Hopefully I gave you some value. I know you guys all do such great things. So I feel kind of silly sharing with you when you guys teach me things, but you know, I'm here for you guys. If I can be of any help ever, don't be afraid to ask. Cause I don't know. This is my passion, you know, helping people. It is my passion. So.
That's awesome. No, we can all learn from each and every one of us regardless. So, and maybe if it's something that we've heard already, like hearing it again is always important. So, thank you so much for being on here and for stepping outside of that comfort zone. You did awesome. And yeah, I'll get the recording up. And
God, I forgot there's gonna be a recording now. It's out there.
There's a recording.
No, it's just self-destruct in 5 seconds, right?
No, you'll be on.
Oh, damn it!
Ready to go. Everyone will know that she drops the F-bomb.
Well, my nickname, if you know, when Kim and I first met way back in the day, we used to be on this private chat, and my nickname was F-Bird because I dropped the F-bomb all the time. So that's a little bit about me if you think I'm like this sweet Robyn. But anyways,
It's awesome.
I've got all sides.
Yes. Perfect. Well, thank you. And thanks to everyone for getting on here. And Thursday, we've got another Zoom. So I hope we get to see most of you, maybe all of you there. So
Thank you guys, everybody. Thank you so much for your time. I know it's all valuable, and thank you.
Yep.
Have a good night.
Thank you.